Greetings, everybody. I am Yongfu from Local Consumer Services, and it's a pleasure to be here today to update you on our business. I'll structure my presentation in three parts. First, I'll review with you our business progress to date. Second, I'll share with you how we see the market that we're in. And third, I will present our future strategy. Let's start by taking a look at the progress that we've made in our business so far. At Alibaba Local Consumer Services, our strategy has always been to serve users and consumers with a multi-app matrix. Today, this matrix consists of Ele.me, Koubei, Fliggy, and Amap. As of September 30, 2021, our annual active consumers, AACs, had grown to around 350 million. Our annual active merchants had grown to around 2.8 million, and our monthly active riders had grown to 1.1 million. So over the past year, we've achieved strong growth on all of these three key business metrics. Let's take a closer look at Ele.me. As of September 2021, Ele.me users had grown by 28% year-on-year, and its number of orders had increased by 35% year-on-year. Reading those two numbers together, you can tell that over the past year, purchase frequency per user has been on the rise. Second, I'd like to share with you how we think about the local services market in China. According to iResearch, over the next 5 years, China's local consumer services market will expand from 20 trillion RMB in 2020 to 35 trillion RMB by 2025 at a CAGR of 13%. Another important number to look at is the online penetration rate of local services. The digital penetration rate is forecast to rise from 24% in 2020 to 31% by 2025. Reading those two numbers together, we will see even faster growth for digitalized local consumer services in China over the next 5 years. Another thing we're seeing in the market generally is that not just Alibaba, but all players are deploying a multi-app matrix to better serve consumers. Why is that the case? It's because local consumer services is a huge market comprising a wide range of different services that are being digitalized, calling for a multi-app approach. In the local consumer services space, Alibaba's matrix consists of our Ele.me app, our Koubei app, our Fliggy app, and our Amap app. If we look at the internet industry over the past 20 years, the two main keywords have been information and connection. After 2 decades of development, information and connection have become the infrastructure of this industry. Today, the whole internet industry is evolving from the information connection stage to the industrial internet stage. And one of the most important sectors of the industrial internet is the online services sector. Over the next 2 decades, this sector as a whole will make great strides. To draw a sports analogy, if this is a 4-quarter game, where are we today? Well, I believe we've only just finished the first quarter. Why do I say that? Because throughout the history of the internet in China, what we've always seen is that the first half of the match is all about scale, scaling up the user base and the industry. After mid-game, during the second half of the match, everyone's focus shifts to efficiency. The crux of the game shifts very clearly from the first half to the second. So for local consumer services, when will the first half end? Our judgment is that halftime will arrive when one of the players reaches 300 million DAUs. At that point, the match will enter its second half and the focus will shift to efficiency. Where are we in the game today? Well, if we look at the two leading players, Alibaba and its major peer each have 100+ million DAUs across their respective local consumer services matrices, so there's still quite a long way to go before either of us reaches that 300 million DAU mark, and it's going to take some work to get there. In the last part of my presentation, let me share with you our future strategy. I believe this will be of great interest to you all. The world of local consumer services is a world with two main protagonists, consumers and merchants. In terms of how they interact in this market, two distinct scenarios have emerged. The first is the to-home scenario, where the consumer wants to access a merchant service from the comfort of their own home. The second is the to-destination scenario, where the consumer physically goes to the merchant's location. Digitalization is driving innovation and enhanced consumer experience in both these scenarios, to-home and to-destination. So our strategy in local consumer services is therefore two-pronged. In the to-home segment, Ele.me is focused on providing consumers an enhanced on-demand service to their homes. We started with on-demand delivery to home of delicious restaurant-cooked food and are expanding to on-demand to-home delivery of all kinds of high-quality goods and services. In the to-destination segment, AMAP is focused on providing users with convenient access to quality services en route to and around their destination. So these are the respective focuses of the two businesses. Let's take a look at each of these businesses in turn, starting with Ele.me. How is Ele.me serving consumers with enhanced to-home local services? We've proceeded in 3 steps. The first step was restaurant to home, where we created an enhanced experience for the consumer. The second step was expanding to retail to home, adding fast on-demand delivery of retail merchandise. And for the third step, we're expanding further to on-demand to-home delivery of a full range of goods and services, which we call everything to home. To realize this 3-step strategy, we need to achieve further integration of the resources and capabilities within the local consumer services group and across the Alibaba group. This is one of the top priorities we're working on today. This July, we established the Local Consumer Services Business Group, marking a major milestone in terms of driving those synergies. Since then, we've been working on 3 things. First is to clearly define and ensure the quality of our service products. Second is merchant empowerment, helping merchants reach consumers more effectively via different entry points in the Alibaba and local consumer services ecosystem. And third is enhancing consumer experience with a richer range of offerings across categories. In each of these areas, we're pushing ahead with important innovations, and the synergies are being unleashed on a daily basis. Let's look at a couple of figures. First, in the September quarter this year, from July to September 2021, non-restaurant orders on Ele.me grew by 79% year-on-year. That is much faster than the growth of restaurant orders in the same period. This strong progress was enabled by the expertise that Alibaba has built up in non-restaurant e-commerce over the decades. And in categories where fast delivery is a priority for consumers, our growth is even faster. In the September quarter, orders for deliveries from liquor stores and from pharmacies grew by over 100% year-on-year. Next, let's turn to our to-destination services and how we're realizing greater synergy between AMAP and our other local consumer service businesses and with businesses across the Alibaba group. Let me start by sharing a figure. In October, during this year's Golden Week holiday period, which is one of the busiest times for travel in China, peak DAUs on AMAP, including the AMAP app and AMAP Auto, car navigation, exceeded 200 million. That shows how strong the demand is in China for mobility and to-destination services. Today, AMAP is a lifestyle map that connects consumers to all kinds of real-world services en route to and around their destinations. It guides users to discover better restaurants. It directs drivers to gas stations and to battery charging points. It helps travelers find hotels and buy tickets to tourist attractions. I'm convinced that maps are the best window into the physical world, connecting people with destinations everywhere. But beyond map-based navigation, AMAP is also about service discovery. And that is the importance of AMAP within our local services matrix as an entry point for enhanced destination-based consumer services. In October, the AMAP-enabled GMV of Kobe grew by more than 500% year-on-year. That not only shows the strong level of consumption demand on AMAP, but also demonstrates strong synergy across our local services offerings. Also, in October, the AMAP-enabled GMV of Fliggy grew by more than 50% year-on-year, thanks again to the matrix effect. We just started to accelerate those synergies since July of this year, and in the year to come, we will aim to further leverage this matrix effect to drive business growth. To conclude, the mission of local consumer services and of the Alibaba Group is to make it easy to do business anywhere. With our technology and business innovations, we're committed to bringing consumers enhanced digital lifestyle experiences and empowering merchants to succeed in the digital local services arena. Thank you very much.